Welcome to this quick introduction to arc.Lite. Here you see the arc.Lite homepage, which loads up in a web browser. This gives you the flexibility to use any kind of device to actually use arc.Lite, ranging from computers, laptops, or tablets. We even have an arc.Lite phone application for workstation. You can see here the key areas that arc.Lite covers. We have order tracking and management, so that we can start off with a sales order that's coming into your facility. Then each of those orders has a number of jobs, or a single job, depending on how you would like to track this, and those jobs can be scheduled using the scheduler. Finally, we have the workstation, which is used to track data that is being captured as a particular job is manufactured. And finally, we have dashboards, which lets you visualize that data. Just to give you a quick look of order tracking and management, here we get a comprehensive list of all the orders that come into the system. We can drill down on any one of these orders and see the underlying jobs and the status that is associated with an order. And we can drill down further and see particular steps that are related to the job as well. So the hierarchy is that we start off with a sales order. Each sales order can be used to track a number of jobs, and then each job can have a number of steps associated with it. And I can quickly see the status of each one of these items in the screen. I could also get a comprehensive report on a particular job by clicking this icon that tells me all the timing information associated with the job, who's worked on it, what equipment and resources have been used, and any checklists and attachments that have been filled out as part of the job. If I go back to my main screen, I will show you quickly how these steps are configured. So this is how we actually define the work that needs to take place to complete a job. To do that, I'll enter into this workflow module here. As I load up the workflow module, you see a list of all my workflows. So for each type of production process, I can have a unique workflow that tracks the information I want to capture for that production process. To show you a simple one, here I have a gear manufacturing process, which is just consisting of a couple of different steps. I can easily add additional steps and in this drag and drop interface, so I can connect up the process as I need to track what needs to happen. So as I connect up these steps, this actually defines the sequence that needs to take place for this production job to happen. I use a node to connect between each step so that I can branch off into different steps if need be. Once I've defined the sequence of production steps that need to take place, I can click into each one of these steps to define the data that I want the person completing the production to see, and also to track what data I would like to capture. To customize this tool for your particular manufacturing process, we use what's called the Workflow Builder. The Workflow Builder is a simple drag and drop interface to actually construct the flow of work that needs to take place in your manufacturing process. You can see here on this very simple workflow, I have a number of steps and a particular sequence in which these steps need to be carried out. I can just simply click and drag to connect steps in the sequence that I want them to be executed. These steps will then correspond to the steps that are visible on the production floor. As I can see here on this screen, if I go back here, I can see the clear sequence of steps that I've laid out in my workflow. And the system will actually control when each step can be accessed based on the sequence that I define within the Workflow Builder. I can then inform for each one of these steps what information I would like to have collected from the production floor. And I can do this by clicking into one of these steps and seeing some of the options here. I can define a desired runtime or cycle time for a particular step, which will inform my scheduling. I can also attach specific instructions in the form of images, generic files, or videos to communicate with the production floor workers what they need to actually do for this particular step. I can define users that I want to actually have work on this step, or particular equipment or machines that need to be used for this step as well. Finally, I can track the inventory that's used in this step. arc.Lite comes with a built-in inventory manager, and as inventory is used, this can be tracked. And here I can define the type of inventory or resources that are required to complete the work in a step. I also have the option to build my custom checklists, which basically capture any additional information that you want to have as part of the process that takes place in a step. The way this looks like on the shop floor is essentially a screen like this. We can see here on the left-hand side we have some timing information, so I can see how long I've spent on a particular step and the particular time frame for which this step was scheduled. On the right-hand side, I can see instructions on what needs to happen for this particular step, which I've uploaded in my workflow builder, and I can see specific information on who's worked on this step or machines that are needed for this step. If a machine is unavailable, I can record this by pressing the stop button and selecting a down reason if I choose to. Here I can track my resourcing, and I can track exactly which batch of resources I'm using for this step as well. So I have the traceability later on to track down where a particular batch was used. I can also track quality information here with the rejected items, so I can get a sense of the quality that I'm producing as I'm completing this step. Finally, I have my checklists and attachments where I can upload additional information that I want to track against this step. arc.Lite also comes complete with a scheduler, so I can easily see what production jobs have been scheduled for my production staff. I can have different views, so I can see the detail that I need depending on the length of my production jobs. And I can even break down and see the individual steps of each production job, so I can see when they have been scheduled for. Clicking on any one of these individual steps lets me reschedule it as needed. To view all the data that I collect, custom dashboards can be built to visualize what is happening in the production. Here you can see some examples of custom dashboards that we've built for other clients. This one is an example of an OEE dashboard, which leverages the OEE data that we collect in arc.Lite. You can see here we get a breakdown of machine OEE, as well as the specific reasons behind bad quality and machine downtime. We can also build other dashboards such as this one, which is related to sales.